So in this series we're going to learn how to develop API in Laravel. The version I'm using in Laravel is Laravel 9. First of all, go to your folder where you want to install Laravel, create a Laravel application. Then go to laravel.com, then follow this process to create a Laravel project. I have already created this. So this is my project. You can see Laravel version from here, compose.json. As you can see, there is a Laravel framework version 9.19. So this is the one I'm using. So in this series, we're going to create a fully functioning API, and we're going to test them as well. So let's talk a bit about Laravel. Laravel is based on MVC pattern, that is model view controller. As you can see here is we have to create a model file in model, controller file in controller here, and view file in here, views. So this way we can separate a code, that is client related code in these views, database related file in code in this user, these models, and all the logic part in controller. So that is a basic MVC pattern you can use. So let's talk about API. So API, basically API stands for Application Programming Interface. So what it does is application together and play as a role of a medium. That is, for example, we have an API for any bookstore, and we have a backend API of a bookstore in Laravel, and we have a front end in React.js. So if we need to connect both from backend and front end, then we use API, and that is Application Programming Interface. So what we create? So we're gonna create a two table called authors and books. Author table will have ID, name, email, phone, password as a field, and books have ID, author underscore ID, title, description, and book underscore cost as a field. So first we're gonna make a register API, then login API, profile API, logout API, create book API, listing book API, single book API, book API, and delete book API. So we're gonna create these 9 API, and also in this series we're going to learn how to create one-to-many relation in Laravel. So first of all, let's create a project by following Laravel website. Then there is a multiple way of creating an API. For example, we can use Sanctum to create a Laravel API. We can use JWT, and we can also use a password. So in this series we're going to use password for creating a Laravel API. So I've already created this Laravel application. So now after that, create a database. I've already created Yeti API database. So name that API on env file. Here is the database name, Yeti_API. My username is root and password is blank. So if you have a password set, you can use take name, give name here. So after that, go to our Laravel password installation section. So for here, go here, we need to install Laravel. So if password, so copy this, Laravel required. Now go to terminal and copy paste it. Really going to take some time. It's almost done. So let's follow this process for installation on Laravel official website. Alright, so now that is done, we need to migrate it. So PHP artisan migrate. So it's migrated. Things to remember here is we have only 3 migration file here. Migration file, like 4 file here. But if you go to our table now after migrating, there will be multiple tables. For example, fields of migration, OAuth access clients, personal access refresh token. So where is this coming from? So that is from a vendor. Then we have installed passport. Passport here, then in database and migration. So those tables are coming from this migration file. So just remember this is the important thing. So now we have refreshed our file, so we have already created that. So now we also go to our Laravel documentation. We also do this. So copy this and alright, so we have created a token. If you go to our OAuth clients, alright, so we have created this. So now go to our user model app models, then user model. Now what you need to add here is we need to add this has API token. It's already there, and we need to also do this use API token. So it's already done on Laravel 9. Before that we have to add that in Laravel's previous version. So after that, go to auth.php on config file, config auth.php, and here in API section guard, this is for web. So on provider user, so let's search API. So if you don't have API, just copy this file. This will be API. Alright, just copy this file, guards file, copy this and paste here and give it a name as API and driver passport and provided user. So web is for web version and API for API version. That is web for like Laravel basic application using HTML, and API is for front React or Vue app or mobile application. So now this is how we set up our initial Laravel application. So we'll be continuing this session, other session on next video.